Now, what about things like vows, contracts, cords, and attachments to other souls or other lifetimes that have a negative impact in this lifetime? Does she have any of those?
She's had... There's still a cord from a soul contract that has ended, but there's still a cord attached to the individual. That is why she thinks about that individual, and there's pain that surfaces. Hurt, pain, anger.
Would it be appropriate to sever it today?
Yes.
You can go ahead and do that, please.
Done.
Thank you. Is there anything else there?
A general clearing. There's a lot of soul contracts and vows that have been fulfilled but haven't been cleared.
Okay.
So, not to say that they're affecting the outcome or the life that she's experiencing, but to some degree they are.
She just doesn't need that baggage, does she?
It is baggage that is just sitting there that reminds her of the past, which is unnecessary and will be cleared now.
Beautiful.
Much better.
Good. Well, there's a few questions that you haven't already answered for Julia. Would it be appropriate now to ask those questions?
Yes.
Thank you. So she'd like to know, what is her main barrier to full ego surrender?
Fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of being lost, fear of losing who she is in this lifetime, fear of losing. She's afraid that if she surrenders fully, then she will not want to be a mother anymore. She will not want to be a wife anymore. She will just up and leave and follow her path, and that is not how it works. This is not how it will work for her. She will continue to be a support to her children and her husband. It will just be different. More loving, more calm, more understanding. It's a different level of love, of acceptance, of light. There's nothing to fear. The only fear is the ego's, because it doesn't want to lose its personality, the control it has over her life. The addiction is a big part of that. Really big part of that. It's all based on fear, rooted in fear. The only remedy is love. No matter what, go towards the light and the love. In any situation that has fear ruling, choose love, and all dissipates and melts away, disappears as if it was never there.
Is she ready to accept that love now after today?
She is.
That's life-changing.
Things are going to be quite different after today. There's going to be a 3-day integration period. By the end of the 3 days after the full moon, that is when the most changes will be felt. But it's already started, and it will continue.
What can she do over the next 3 days to help facilitate it?
Focus on well-being. Whatever book we feel is best for her guidance in the moment, whichever it may be, to pick it up and read it and to trust. She doubts so much. Even right now, there's moments where she doubts that the information that is coming through it's just something that she's making up. Yes, it is something that she's making up, that is being made up. But it's the truth. It is from her higher being. So it's a trusting exercise that she needs to work on. Trusting what she feels, what she sees, what she understands, because she had most of the answers already in her conscious mind when she was writing those, but she was doubting the answers. They were just confirmations of something she already knew. So it will assist her in understanding and knowing that she's fully connected all the time. She's just afraid to surrender to the power.
That's so often the case in these sessions.
Yes.
So how will listening back to the recording assist with that?
Many times, humans, as when they're born into the body, they forget their experience, who they are, what they're meant to do. It is all forgotten. And today's lesson is to gain a lot of insights, information, activation, clearings, everything that she needs. Now that will be forgotten temporarily. Not forgotten 100%, but the memory will be dulled, as were many other spiritual enlightening moments from the past. So listening back will actually reintegrate, help, and reestablish that connection, and to remind that yes, you're on the right path. Yes, you are doing what you're supposed to. Yes, there's things that you should assist in your own ascension, and it is free will that will get you there. But it is very helpful to go back and to revisit these experiences to center you sometimes. When you're lost, just to listen to it, to recenter, to bring you back to where you need to be energetically. It's also the vibration of the experience that balances and integrates you in a certain point when you feel disbalance. And usually, Julia is guided to what she needs. It will come through another soul, another vessel that will guide her to something. It will be through just a thought that goes into her mind that we put there, to read a certain book, a certain page, to pick up the tarot cards and receive a message. She needs validation, physical validation, but with time she will learn to trust that inner validation, which is already there. Those are just confirmations from the outside to confirm the inside knowledge. And that is how twin flames work. Yes, they are here to balance each other out. And there's a big wave of many twin flames coming together because of the ascension process. They are just drawn energetically to each other, and they are here to push buttons, and once they are done pushing buttons, they are here to ascend together. And that is the most blissful experience that any soul can experience, and a lot of souls that are here to assist will and are attracting their twin flames if they're not already in a twin flame relationship.
I think a lot of people think if they're not with their twin flame that their relationship connection isn't as important or isn't as beneficial.
No, absolutely not. It is always beneficial. Any and all relationships have a purpose. They have something in store for both people to grow together. It doesn't mean many people come into relationships thinking, this is not my twin flame, I don't want to waste my time. It is not a waste of time. Any and all relationships have a purpose. They do have lessons in themselves of growth, of love, of tolerance, of joy, happiness, realizing things. With a twin flame, yes, the experience is magnified, it is fastened. You're going in a fast car on a fast highway. being in other relationships is more like taking a bicycle or driving a regular car. We're talking about getting on a plane and flying to our destination. It's faster, it's more turbulent, but you definitely get to your destination faster and you get a lot of different experiences along the way. Some twin flame relationships, they're not meant to stay together. They're meant to help each other grow the most, and then they go apart. It doesn't mean that twin flame is the only way to be. It's the strongest way to learn, ascend, and grow together. But it's also, they can also grow apart once they have the soul contracts completed. Michael's and Julia's will stay together. Their soul contract is to be together. Even if temporarily, which may happen as it is standing right now. They may go their separate ways for a certain time, but fate will bring them back together. Their soul purpose will bring them back together if they do choose to go apart for a certain time, which is okay as well, and she feels okay with that as well. It's something that she's accepted a little while ago. Whether it goes one way or another, everything will be okay.
Sometimes time apart can really help to
Yes.
bring them back together in an even stronger way.
Yes, and sometimes people need time to grow apart.
Yeah.
To grow within themselves, being apart.
Right.
Sometimes they need to stay that way, sometimes they don't. There's also the factor of his free will and her free will. Yes, they do have a soul contract together that binds them, that pulls on each other, pulls on their energy centers to be together, to grow together, but there's also the side of free will. They can choose whatever they want. They can choose to go right or left. There's always 4 forks. Her spirit and her will. His spirit, his will. If they intersect, so there's many variables to possible futures, possible outcomes. Spirit's outcome is what we've covered today, the center, everything that will come about. It is more inevitable unless outside factors will come into play. And of course her free will to choose drugs yet again. It's just an adaptation period. She needs to be focusing more on growing her connection with spirit and not growing her fear of the unknown, of her addiction. Because then it'll just be a matter of time when she feels like she needs that tidbit of love and she won't get it from inside, and that's the only place where she can get it. The veils are lifted when she takes the drug and she feels full unconditional love from spirit. That is what had her hooked this whole time. That connection with spirit that she would get freely, unrestrained, 100%. But it was temporary, induced by substance which got her hooked and addicted into the cycle of I need the love I'm lacking, and I will get it through a substance to get to the point that I want with spirit. But it didn't last. And that's what created the circle, the never-ending circle of addiction, which is broken now. But there needs to be some supportive factors that she needs to work on, that she hasn't done.
Okay. Do you want to list those now again just to make sure that she understands fully?
Revisit the Pleiadian workbook when it arrives. It will arrive this week. This week or the next. We are in the middle of the week. This week or the next it will arrive. Once it arrives, not just pulling cards to get daily affirmations or guidance, it's also doing the work, doing the axiotonal clearing daily, doing the spinal pathway clearing the aura, fortifying the colors, She needs to work on her etheric work, which means using her imagination. Yes, it's imagination, but it also creates a reality. The reality that the fifth dimension lives upon. So 4D is more like playing the video game before going and actually experiencing that game. It's more dipping your toes in the water, figuring out how things work, getting the groove going. 5D is full force, you're plugged in. You're unplugged from the matrix, you're just in bliss and reality. But for that you need to have test drives. And with that, there needs to be some work. Meditation, daily. It is in the schedule, but she's not doing it. And just focusing on being present, going more for walks. She doesn't go outside. She sits inside the house or goes to the gym or sits in the car. Yes, she's busy with the children, but she needs to be busy with herself. That is so very important right now. Going for a walk outside in the fresh air, going to the park, anywhere, anything. That will really center and be more present. It will really assist. Drinking lots of water. And not worry so much about the future and what it holds and what will come out of it. It doesn't matter. Everything will unfold as it should, as it needs to be. Whichever path she chooses. It all is perfect at all times. And she needs to be more present and to remember that. Thank you.
Sounds like she will be busy in a really good way.
Yes.
Would you suggest that she does a 5-day water fast?
At this stage, it is unnecessary.
Okay.
It will be necessary once her body becomes stronger. Right now, there's a lot of changes, upgrades, integrations that are going on. Weakening. It also weakens the body when you don't have a source fuel that comes in, and there needs to be some more light body integration and light, cellular light activation to be able to be sustained by water, which will assist. At this point, it is unnecessary.
Okay, and how is her diet? Any changes at all she should make that would benefit her?
Optimally would be to eat vegetables, vegetarian, and not consume the meat. But at this time, her light body activation requires the meat. And that is okay as well.
Now, why would a light body activation require meat?
It's the protein. It's not more so the light body. It's more the integration of the physical body to accommodate the light body. The physical body is what is requiring. Not the right choice of wording.
So protein? She needs the protein.
It is the protein,
Okay.
And right now she doesn't have access to have access to proteins that are not animal based. When she has more financial freedom, she will be able to make the choices that she can have. Right now we're working with what she has and has access to.
Okay, understood. Are there any body deficiencies that she needs to look at?
Anemia.
Okay.
Low iron. She's already been guided to start the iron pills, which she has been. She needs to get a refill on those.
Okay.
Natural with spirulina. It has natural iron. They're on the more expensive side, but they're very nutritious for the body. And assist in red blood cell production, because the kidneys are responsible and indirectly in producing red blood cells. So we need to support the iron, which will support the red blood cell production within the body. The systems will normalize.
Are there any other supplements that would benefit her at this time?
Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha will be really good to invigorate the body, increase the energy levels.
What
and
is that?
well-being.
I've never heard of that before.
It is a root that is present in many Indonesian countries, ashwagandha. It is a root powder that acts similar to ginger, but it's more invigorating, and it doesn't have as much as stimulating effects as ginger. It also has effects on the libido because she has blocked energy. Not blocked energy, she locks energy in when she gets upset in her relationship sexually within her sexual organs, which also brings the effect of her rash. That energy is what the ashwagandha affects that energy because it actually increases your libido and increases the flow of life force energy through the meridians of the sexual organs, which in turn help clear.
Okay.
So it has many different effects, but also has mood lifting effects. So it will assist with energy levels while the integration takes place and the toxins get cleared from the body.
Okay. Any other supplements you think would help her?
She takes quite a few vitamins, which are at this time supportive of the body and what the body needs.
Okay. Overall, she's quite healthy, though, it sounds like.
Goji berries
Okay.
need to be added to the teas. Although they're not consistent with her diet schedule, they are important in terms of the antioxidants and the vitamins that they do have. And not many are needed, just put them in the tea.
Yep.
They will assist.
Okay. So one of her questions is, what do I need to do to get back on the ascension path? She was never off it, was she?
She never was. She just took a detour to look at other scenes along the path. She still kept walking on the path, just took a longer, more scenic route.
How did her experiences growing up, how were they going to benefit her with her life purpose? It always helps to see it from the positive point of view.
She's already understanding how that is impacting her experience and her life purpose. Her life experience from when she was a child, all the traumas she went through, the feelings that she had, even the displeasement. She she mirrors it in other people. So that is how she's able to understand on a very deep core level what the other person is going through, because she experienced those emotions. It is the ability to understand and lock in the frequency of the energy, the emotions, the vibration that she experienced. How do I explain it? It is more like she had a lock within her, and then she found a key that opened it through the experience, and now there are other keyholes that match this key in other people, and she's able to use that key to open that chest and see the outcome or the purpose or the lesson behind it. So she's able to see past the traumas, past the illusions, past what humans are going to put in front of their eyes to cover the truth. She will see right through it and be able to assist them in walking towards the path, or at least directing them towards their path, their learning goals, what they're truly suppressing, what their subconscious is telling them. She has access to that information. Not always. It's coming online, it's integrating, but a lot of the times she does have access, and it is quite powerful. Many experiences that she went through will be a deciphering tool in deciphering other people's emotions, and situation, feelings, how to get by it, what's triggering it. That is why so many... Her life was like going to university, going to all these courses, experiences, getting all these tools so that she's able to use them and integrate all that wisdom, knowledge, and information in with the people that she will assist in those centers. Even with her clients with cranial psychotherapy, to be able to scan the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul, everything. It'll be a full mind, body, soul experience for her clients, as well as when she opens the center. It will really assist.
I think you explained that very well.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So this matrix that we are currently in, it is beginning to crumble, is it not?
Yes, it is. People are seeing right through. There's many cracks. Many cracks. People are seeing inconsistencies. This money system is falling. It's not stable. There's a lot of war. There's so many things that are going on. The matrix is very destabilized, and people are choosing differently. People are choosing light. People are drawn to the light. There's cracks and holes, and light is shining through, and people are drawn to it. So many more people are feeling it because of the frequencies that are rising within Gaia. It raises the vibration and the frequency and the ability to perceive frequency in so many souls. Earth seeds, star seeds, it really doesn't matter. Everyone is being impacted. Animals on many different levels. Everyone's capacity to perceive light is increasing. And it's also increasing their capacity of having spiritual experiences, extrasensory experiences. And a lot of people are not understanding what's happening with them, and they need guidance centers, that a one-stop shop where you're going to be guided along your ascension path. You come in lost, not knowing what to do, and you just walk into a center, a place that has many answers that you're seeking. And people are going to be drawn to different healers, teachers, guides. Not everybody will be drawn to Julia. Not everybody will be drawn to Paula. Not many people will be drawn. Not everybody. It's going to be an energy lock, a frequency that will flow together. Once there's a flow, there's an energetic recognition within the souls. All contracts will come together. Mm. There's many things that are happening simultaneously. So many awakenings, walk-ins, embodiment. There's so many things that are happening, and it's happening at very top speed. Very, very high rate.
There are many souls being born and coming into the same body, and multiple souls in a single body.
Reincarnations for continuing, yes. Mm-hmm. Reincarnation when a soul is too far off the path of spirit, and there's too much turmoil and damage, and that was not the original soul purpose of that soul, but because of free will it chose to do whatever it wants and to deny light. That is when that life, not always, but most likely that is when that life terminates, that body terminates, and that life force that soul gets reincarnated to try again, like a reset button. Mm-hmm. Sometimes society is like a virus. It infects the host, which is the body and the mind, the soul. It infects it with many different things, and it just wreaks havoc inside the body. And sometimes it helps to go to a healer, which would be like a malware. Words are so funny in English.
Malware. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, an antivirus, and that will help. But we're always prone and susceptible to get the viruses in, which are different people's opinions and subjections and so many different things. It's about just being centered. Mm. And many people are starting to be.
So how do you see the falling apart of the matrix happening over, let's say, the course of the year 2020? What events do you see happening?
It will not occur by 2020. Now, it all depends also on many variables such as free will and spirit. Now, a lot of people are coming together. Perceptions are changing. People's agendas and their drives are changing. What drives them from the inside, what changes them, what makes them want to go towards the light. I see a lot more souls coming together. There's a lot more gatherings. There's a lot more spiritual retreats. There's a lot more giving and loving and accepting and forgiveness and people teaching other people kindness and love. It will not be as noticeable as the world stops spinning and money is not important anymore. It's a very slow integration in terms of changing society as a whole. But there's going to be a lot more, there's going to be quite a bit of turmoil, possibly war. And from war, from a lot of force and a lot of energy will come peace. Sometimes it is necessary in human nature. It's a catalyst to peace.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to go through that.
Right.
There's a possibility of war. But it will end up in peace.
Mm-hmm. And what area of the world will that be in?
Could be Asia, could be Russia.
Mm.
Different parts.
Okay.
Different parts. There's many moves that are being made depending on the situation and the circumstances. We'll see if it evolves into something bigger or not.
Mm. It's kind of like a chess game.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's many moves that can be made. How it will end up and who's going to call checkmate, now that all depends on the situation and the lessons and the time it takes to learn.
Is the monetary system going to change this year?
No.
No.
No, it will take some time.
Okay. What about getting some of these new inventions in to help with healing and that sort of thing, or even new methods of transportation?
Nothing new in terms of healing modalities will come through. People will be, it's not per se new, people will be awakened to the healing abilities and more, you will see a lot more intuitive healing, not specific hand position, specific name, modality healings. You will see a big rise on intuitive healing, and intuitive meaning spirit will be guiding the healing, and that will be a combination of many modalities that the person will not be able to explain or be aware where they're coming from, what they are, and there's going to be no need to understand on a mental level, but on a quantum level, the healing capacity and ability of many light workers will be increased tenfold because of the frequency energy, the upgrades that every light worker is receiving.
Okay.
It is grand, the changes that they will be able to impact in their own spiritual practices with in humanity in general, and also the changes that are occurring in a cellular level with the light workers. It's making ripples in the quantum realm of healing for other people, even though they're not intending to. It's the healing energy is like waves of energetic change that will impact other people in many, depending on what level of activation and embodiment their experience and ascension. It will impact the surface area that they will affect just by being present and in the moment and being who they are and expressing their divinity. That will affect other beings on a cellular level, causing change and ascension within them. So there's a butterfly effect that will happen. From people, certain people will start embodiment, which will trigger the embodiment and ascension of others within their surroundings, which will trigger an effect. It will be a wave effect that will take the world by storm. It will really be noticeable this year. The modalities, and not the modalities, the healing, the intuitive healing.
People are really going to come into their own personal gifts
They're
this year.
spiritual, absolutely.
Lovely.
This is a foundation and embodiment year for many, and just accepting their healing nature.
So it is these activations that we're receiving that's bringing those online this year.
Yes, activations are just seeds of memory.
Okay.
They're memory that is in our DNA that just gets pushed to the subconscious, and then from the subconscious it gets released little by little to the conscious, so that not to overwhelm the system. You don't want to overwhelm, because then it'll just, fear will override all that information. But if you give little bit of information, little waves of information, then the pieces of the puzzle will come together, and the human will have time to integrate that information and not be afraid of it, as if you were to release the whole capsule all at once.
Perfect. So everyone's talking about this big shift to the fifth dimension. Would you like to comment on that? This seems to be the big topic, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. What's your viewpoint?
There's not a specific timeline of when it will happen. It is very variant on, again, circumstances, people's choices, and it is not the entire planet is changing vibrationally and energetically. It is ascending into higher realms, and it is palpable, and it is noticeable with the level of readiness that humanity is having. People on a cellular, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual level, they are growing, they're more open. So their openness will open to a certain level where they are open enough to hear their inner guidance, which will guide them on the path to open up enough to get to the fifth dimension. Everybody is very stuck on this fifth dimension idea, and they're just going into an idea of somewhere else but here and now.
Yes.
And that is a trick of the ego. It really doesn't matter how, when, where, why. It really doesn't matter. What matters is you are not here and now. You're thinking about somewhere you want to be one day, and that is how you cut yourself off from getting there, just by wanting it. Humanity needs to relax, take a back seat in terms of not trying to control and want. You have everything you need right here and now. You just need to learn to listen.
Go inward and do the work.
Yes, it doesn't matter. The fifth dimension is just a distraction. That's all it is. It's an ego distraction. I want to be in the fifth dimension. You're going to get there. You're not. It is human ego that is using that as a distraction. I'm in the 5D. I'm not. It doesn't really matter. We're all where we are supposed to be in the moment. And distinguishing one is there, one is not. That's an ego. That's an ego aspect of comparison. That's not spirit.
And in any moment you can be in 5D if you want to. It's all whether you're living from the heart or not.
Absolutely. It's all about heart living. And it doesn't matter if you're aware that you're in the 5D or not aware. If you're living from the fifth dimension, which means living from your heart, giving, loving, forgiving, just being present. All it takes is just being present.
Perfect.
And not thinking about places or dimensions or numbers or names. They are so irrelevant. All that matters is the energy and the vibration and what you are putting forth and what you are receiving back. And just being present.